This video is sponsored by Green Man Gaming. Get games at affordable prices for various platforms. Click the link in the description below to check it out. Hello guys, this is Doron's Movies, and today I will be giving you top 5 worst crimes of the Alliance. Although very much a grey area, I will be going through some crimes committed throughout the history of the Alliance. So, without further ado, let's get into the lore. Number 5. The attack on Camp Torajo. Once a Tauren outpost in southern Barrens, Camp Torajo was of significant importance as it was situated just before the entrance into Mulgore. It was used mainly by the Tauren to defend from the Quillbore as well as guard the borders of their realm. However, during the events of Cataclysm, much changed. During the Alliance Horde War, the Alliance was concerned about its strategic position and what it would mean for their strength in Kalimdor. In order to secure their offensive against the Horde, they had razed the entire town. Even though some civilians were given a chance to escape, the camp was firebombed by Wildhammer mercenaries. Civilians still died in this attack, which made this action very questionable. Many called it a massacre, however Bane admitted that it had been a legitimate military target. Because of this attack, the way into Mulgore was reinforced with a wall and a gate next to the mountain pass. Number 4. The Defias Brotherhood. After Stormwind was razed by the Horde in the First War, the Stone Masons Guild, led by Edwin Van Cleef, was tasked with rebuilding it. This was a massive project that required a small army of artisans and engineers. Specialists from all over the Eastern Kingdoms traveled to work here, and many even brought their entire families at a great expense. However, when the reconstruction was complete after a very long time, a big problem occurred. The House of Nobles ran up a huge debt by expanding the kingdom's military presence, and they were unable to pay the agreed amount. Edwin protested, but his Stonemasons Guild was disbanded, which started a rebellion. During the protests, the Queen was killed by a rock, which subsequently led Varian Vryn to completely exile the Stonemasons. After this, they turned to banditry, collecting their payment through criminal activity. It was later revealed that Onyxia had manipulated both parties to turn them against each other and to create chaos within the kingdom. Still, the lives of many were ruined, partly because of a disagreement, and partly because Stormwind refused to pay for work. Number 3. Sinking of a neutral ship. When the shattering happened, Thrall abandoned his role of Warchief and headed towards the Maelstrom to help save the world. However, he was intercepted by the Alliance that tried to capture him and bring him to Stormwind. At the same time, Mount Kajaro erupted on Kazan and the goblins had to flee. Many of them were tricked by Galvix and were enslaved, but nevertheless they set sail for Ashara to a new home. Unfortunately, they were spotted by the Alliance that were attempting to capture Thrall. The Alliance almost immediately fired on the goblin ship in order to prevent anyone from witnessing what they were doing. Seeing that the goblins were neutral at the time, this was a straight-out act of aggression. They even attacked the goblins and the orcs on the island, whom were bonded together by chance. This event essentially led to the goblins joining the Horde during Cataclysm. This was most definitely a crime, and even though it ended well for the goblins, they could have all been killed in the attack. Number 2. Internment Camps. Even though technically not the current Alliance, it's very much a big stain in the timeline leading to the current creation. After the defeat of the Horde, the bulk of the orcs were captured, with only a few clans eluding it. Even though triumphant, this was a massive issue for the Alliance, and it almost tore it apart. Trollbane and Greymane advocated for the execution, while Terranas believed that they could be redeemed. A large number of camps were constructed in southern Lodron, guarded by veteran soldiers, and they proved to be great success. They maintained order, but when Edelas Blackmore became the master of Durnhold Keep and the head of the internment camps, much changed. Soon enough, illegal gladiator battles became a thing, many orcs were used for slavery and were abused. Most well-known example of this was Thrall, a young orc baby raised as a slave to serve Blackmore. Even the king of Lordaeron was aware of these gladiatorial games, but personally allowed them because of profit. Eventually, with the escape of Thrall and the reunion with Orgrim Doomhammer and Grom Hellscream, a massive offensive began. Soon enough, the camps would be freed and the new horde created. Even though the Alliance decided not to turn to genocide to resolve the orc issue, going by the route of slavery is not a lot further morally. And lastly, number 1. Blood Elf Genocide. When Lordaeron was destroyed by the Scourge, the structure of the Alliance definitely was a lot more loose. Seeing that Grand Marshal Genethos was the highest ranking survivor of Lordaeron's military, he would lead what was left of the army. Non-neighboring states such as Ironforge even recognized and supported him, sending him aid, seeing that he was the strongest warlord in the area. Even the healthiest of the Blood Elves joined Genethos, hoping to unite what was left and free their homeland. However, Genethos had a different view of the Alliance, and because he lost his family during the Second War, he developed a hatred for non-humans, especially elves. He did not enjoy cooperating with the dwarves nor the Blood Elves in the least, and he thought that the humans should stick together. Genethos sent Kiltas and his forces on a suicide mission without any support, and even though they performed the best of their abilities, they had no choice but to accept the help of the Naga. Immediately upon learning this, Genethos did not even want to hear a single word, and he used this as an excuse to imprison the Blood Elves and prepare them for execution. They did eventually manage to escape somehow, but that does not draw away from the fact that Genethos condemned them all to death, essentially subjecting the Blood Elves to genocide. Alright, and that is all I have for this video. Do leave your thoughts on what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps out and keeps all the content going. Thanks a lot for taking the time out of the day to watch this video, and see you next time.